Hello and welcome back to Minecraft. Today we're making a tutorial for my tri-stay button, which is over there, and let's just jump right into it. I'm not going to make a tutorial on how to build this house. It's pretty self-explanatory, just a box with a couple of doors. If you don't know how to make that, you probably shouldn't be playing Minecraft at this point. So let's get some supplies from my magical inventory that holds 15,000 items, and let's jump right into it. So the first thing you need is a button, right? Oh, I just got an email. That's interesting. Okay, so the first thing we need is a button. I think that's the right, yep, this is the middle, so we put it here. Right, now to that button, we're going to need a piece of redstone. Okay, and that redstone needs to go into monostable circuit. So let's jump up here and build a monostable circuit. And then up here. Come on. Come on there, boy. So used to building stuff in creative mode. Sorry, guys. There we go. And gotta build the rest of the monostable circuit. Alright. So we got our monostable circuit. Right. Which we need to then put into a T flip-flop. Right. So for our T flip-flop, let's just grab a sticky piston, which unfortunately I don't have. Thought I picked those up. I guess not. Alright, let's just get a couple sticky pistons. And we only need one button, so there we go. Leads into this sticky piston with any block that's solid. It's going to get pushed out to here. So here we have a repeater. And we have a lever that's always on. So this is our output of our T flip-flop, right? Which then needs to go into the ABBA circuit over here by the door. So let's start building up this piston door. So for our actual door, let's use cobblestone so we can just tell it apart for now. So build 2 cobblestone. We're going to need some pistons here. And we're going to need some pistons here. Right? And to power these, we're going to get some repeaters. And just put some repeaters here and here. Make sure this works properly. No, I gotta put the repeaters up a level. So we move the repeaters up 1 level. Oops. And then we go like this. Right, so they're both powered, which is good. We retract it. Those should retract as well. Now we need to power these guys. To power this, right, there's gonna be a solid. Oops. Going to be a wall here, right? Yeah, we need to power them through this wall. So we're going to stick a repeater here, I think, here, and up here, right? We'll wire these two together. And just like that, put a couple pieces of wire on here. There we go. Now if we were to power these, oops, and these, and power that, this should all be extended. And if we were to depower it all, that first, because it has to be ABBA, then these, we have our door opened. That's our open state right there. Okay, so the next step here, then, if I remember correctly, oops, is to add our reset. So we take this out, and our reset goes right here, like that, right? No, forget. The door has to come out 1 past here. Sorry about that. So the door comes out 1 past, and we have a pressure plate right, no, wrong spot. Pressure plate has to be here so it doesn't interfere with these pistons here. So it has to be away from that, and then we add a piece of redstone here, which we'll link up later. Okay. So now we got to build our ABBA circuit over here. So I'll just remove some of this stuff that's not necessary. Right. Come over here. On my first video of this, a lot of people complained that it was a little too complex. It could have been a lot simpler, and I agree that it could have been a lot simpler. But personally, when I build a circuit or whatever in Minecraft, I like to make it as explicit as possible, so it's easy to understand for someone who's not super advanced in redstone. It's one of those things where it doesn't make that big of a difference, I suppose. But to me, easier to understand is better. I come from a programming background, and writing maintainable code is always better than writing faster code. It really is, because if you need to come around to change something in the future, or you just want other people to understand what you've built who aren't the most experienced in this, then you need to have it in a way that they understand as well what you're doing. So this goes like that. I think this one actually goes this way. Alright, so we go like that. And I think these go up to 4. Right. And this would be our input to our ABBA. And let me stop the rain here. It's messing with my performance up. There we go. And we hook that up to this. Right. So we come up here. Let's test this out. That should be our entire left door here. Nothing too complex, except for the whole reset button, which we'll wire up shortly after. Well, it would be our reset button if something actually happened. Okay, that means there's something wrong with our circuitry. I didn't even hear our monostable circuit go off. I think... Oh. Well, it'd help if I finished up the wiring there. I forgot to put the little redstone dot that makes it all work. So, let's go back to the front here. And push the button again. Come on, buddy. Ugh. There's our open or closed state. There's our open state. There we go. So there's our left door. There isn't too much here. Let's cover it up a little bit over top. And then we'll wire up the reset line. Now, as I stated before, this gets really interesting because we can't have any interference. That means I think I need to extend my monostable circuit out a little farther, which isn't too big of a deal. We'll just come over here. Gosh, I'm so used to being able to fly in creative mode, so performance is a little bit lower than what it usually would be, but I guess that doesn't really matter. And then our input from our reset line is going to be here, right? That's going to be the start of our monostable right here. So that's going to be our monostable circuit. Come on. Monostable circuit here. And, oops, that's a problem. And I don't think you can just link that up that way, so I'm going to have to move this out as well. So there we go. Hook that up to that. Oops. As I said before, this design uses quite a few sticky pistons, so I guess that's a downside if you're trying to build this in survival legit. So just keep that in mind, that you're going to need one massive slime farm if you want to do this type of stuff in your survival world. Well, maybe not massive slime farm, but you're going to at least find some slimes. Because slimes are not the most common thing in Minecraft, and if you don't have a world where you have a lot of slime balls already, which I do suggest you go out and find, because it's one of the more useful things if you're doing anything with redstone, then you're going to be in a little bit of a trouble if you try to build this. So let's link this downwards. I probably should get a shovel or something, but we can worry about that later. So then we come down here. Right, there's our bedrock. Right, we come down this way. Gotta see if I can find this little redstone dot. I need to go over some more.
Sweet home. Oh, were you done recording?
Alright, so here we have some more redstone line. And we're just linking it up to that pressure plate. Where it comes over here. And I guess we don't need that block there. And obviously all the stone I'm using, I just want to point that out if you didn't know. It doesn't matter if you use stone or whatever other material you prefer. I just chose stone in this situation because I think it looks nice. But it's really arbitrary, so if you happen to like the look of sandstone, more power to you. I don't think I have any grass or dirt to fill that back in. Oh, no, I do have dirt. Like I said, I'm so used to playing creative where you don't get materials for destroying blocks that was kind of weird to me. I actually have dirt in my inventory, haha. Alright, so now this should... Okay, I guess we have some tick issues. I ran into this before. I think the simple solution is just go like this, and... Let's see why this isn't... Okay, so it is sending power, right? Should be sending it. I bet you I missed a... Yeah, I missed a couple pieces of redstone down there. Okay, there we go, that's that. And obviously I'm no redstone god, I'm not perfect in my ways, so I do make mistakes just like anybody else would. And this is a T flip-flop, so we step over it again. Opens up for us. And once again we have to fix this because our redstone timings were off. So just quick note, you have to have those repeaters set on one delay or else the door won't work. And it'll sometimes get out of sync. So that's that. This would lead to our secret room number 1, which isn't super secret. That's the obvious room. That's basically the decoy. So put valuable stuff in there, but not super valuable stuff would be my suggestion. Alright, so there's that. And that part of the circuit's done. Now we get to build the second door. Remember, the second door is just like the first one, except we have to have the double push detect when to open this one. So we come over here, we build our door up, just like before. And we have 1, 2, it's going to be a wall for top. No, that can't be that. That needs to be... Alright, so this needs to be right here. Alright, so that's going to be pulling him back. And then over here, we have 2 more. And finally, we finish it out with a couple of repeaters on top, both set to 1 tick, as we just learned. Alright. And we'll probably add a little access way right here. Alright, so that's going to link up to our ABBA. Let's finish up the wiring over here as well, so we can just test this out, right? So we have this behind a wall, so that it's solid from behind. And we come over here, power that up, and we come over up top. I think we put the redstone repeater here, right? Time, set day. I really should make a mod to automate the time staying a day. I think I actually had one at one point. I may leave a link to that in the description if I remember. Because if you didn't know, I used to make quite a few mods. I was part of a modding group called the ABP Modders. And yeah, probably our most famous one, as you've probably seen the video if you're on my channel right now, is my painting mod, which got a pretty good reception the second time around. I'm not gonna lie, I was actually kind of surprised because the first time around it got great reception, but considering the fact that I hadn't updated it since 1.8, I was expecting a lot of hate from that, like, you know. But I guess it's a difference between the communities. I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty before I did that, so I guess that's a good thing. I guess the Minecraft community is more open to delays and stuff before content's released. So, yeah, and that turned out okay, but let's get off that and start building our next ABBA circuit. Okay, so over here, oops, that needs to go. Here's one output of the ABBA, and here will be the second. Obviously, this is using a lot of stone, and I may have... And like I said, this isn't exactly the most optimized setup in the whole world. You could probably make it much more optimized if you wanted to. But as I said, this is using a lot of space and stuff because I just feel like the more explicit your circuits are, the easier it is to come around and change something in the future. I don't want my circuits to be super compact so that nobody understands what they do except for me, and they have to ask me a whole bunch of questions before they can go around and use it practically. Um, I guess the downsides of that are there. I mean, you can't do the same stuff with the same speed, I guess, but you get what you get. Alright, so here, I think my input to my ABBA is right here. So let's just try this out before we do anything else. Make sure that's working. That didn't work. I think I got something backwards here. Haha. Alright, so it goes like that. Oh, and these go like that. Okay, so that should be my ABBA. Probably have to add a couple delays and stuff in there, right, to make it working correctly. Let's delay these both by 1 tick, and I think that's correct. We come over here. No, that's not correct. Alright, well, we'll do the good old 2 tick, 2 tick, 4 tick, 4 tick. Oh, I never actually set these repeaters to 1 tick delay, or 2 tick delay. There we go. Now we should be golden. I'm not entirely sure why the whole 2 tick matters there. I guess it could be one of those stupid north-south redstone rules. But whatever. I mean, it only happens on the top, and considering the fact that they should have the exact same delay, I'm not entirely certain. I'm not the person who really delves into the code and stuff of Minecraft to try and understand every little glitch in the game, although I have done that before. But now let's link up this second whatchamacallit, and in this case, I'm just going to wire it out from here. I guess I could have done this on the other one as well, but I guess I just wasn't thinking, and so I think real quick I'm going to go into creative and give myself a shovel, because shovels are always better for digging out dirt and such. So let's make sure we have plenty of redstone. Game mode 0. There we go. This will be our line. That'll be coming out, and then when we do have our T flip-flop, we'll wire it up to that and make sure that resets it. And we'll come down underneath here, finish out that, start adding some wire. Don't need you. So I started out here with, I believe, 9 stacks of stone, and I'm already used up 2 or 3. So I'd probably recommend having at least 10 to 12 stacks of stone or whatever material you're going to use, just so it's consistent. I mean, you can use dirt, you can use cobblestone, whatever. As long as it isn't affected by gravity, it should be okay. And as long as it isn't like glass or something that you can't put redstone on. Alright, so there's that. And now that should link up. Make sure that works. Yep, that links up properly. So when this comes over to our... Let's create the T flip-flop for it right now. And I got another email. Gosh, I'm really popular today. Alright, so... And we have our monostable circuit. Monostable going into our T flip-flop when we get there. There's probably a lot easier way to create a T flip-flop than what I'm doing here. I'm just using the old tried and true method because I'm not one who just goes and searches for the most efficient ways to do stuff. Like I said, if I know something how it works, I'm not gonna go out of my way and try to find a better way to do it, because I just feel like that can lead to a lot of confusion later on down the road, especially if it's a really compact circuit. If nobody else knows what it does or what it is, then it can lead to confusion that I really don't want to have to deal with. So now I have to figure out how I want this to work. So let's come over here, link up something to my T flip-flop. That didn't work. Huh. Why didn't that? Oh, I have that in the wrong tick. Delay. I have to get the output of it. Right. Ooh, what if I actually link up this T flip-flop? Nah, that's not gonna work. I think I'm gonna actually have to move this back more, unfortunately. That's the other thing, that when building larger circuits like this, is that you quite frequently run out of space to build with, and that's unfortunate, but due to the fact that redstone is just binary and there isn't too much optimizations unless using mods like red power, which I don't generally support. I mean, red power is cool in theory, but the problem with red power, in my opinion, is that it makes it too easy to create super complex stuff. It should be a real accomplishment to create a supercomputer in Minecraft. Well, what would be a supercomputer in Minecraft? Because it uses a lot of redstone. But in red power, you can pretty much create uh, a supercomputer using all their AND gates and OR gates and stuff that come with it, which is nice for learning redstone. Don't get me wrong, if you want to learn redstone, I definitely recommend using a mod like red power to understand that. But when it comes down to it, if you don't know the basic concepts of redstone and the binary zeros and one wire stuff, then you're going to be a very limited redstone wirer, I guess is the best way to put it. Because if I don't know how to use a simple T flip flop this way, then what am I going to do in the future when someone asks me, hey, on a server or something that doesn't have red power, says, hey, can you build me a blah, like, can you build me a T flip flop with an RS NOR latch and with the reset? You're not gonna know what the crap that is without your help with the red power stuff. So while I do understand the usefulness of a red power type mod, like I said, it's not one that I'm gonna just go out and say, yeah, go use it, because it's good, but it's not good to the point where it's super useful in my opinion. All right, so there's my input to our T flip flop. Come on, buddy. Hug. All right, let's just get the shovel out. I mean the pick. There we go. That's the things you get for not being in creative mode. You can't destroy levers that fast. Oh well. Alright, so now we're going to create the simple AND gate for our input over here. So we're going to wire this a little bit differently. Like I said, I had a couple complaints about the space requirements of this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to wire this one upwards. So this is going to go up from here. It's going to go way up. It's going to actually happen, all the wiring is going to happen above the house. So our AND gate wiring is going to happen above the house, and we'll somehow link it back to our monostable circuit later. So this is our AND gate, right? And then we have one here, one here. We have those linking up to here and here, right? And then we'll put these through our repeaters as we need to. Basically, the rule in repeaters here is 1, 2. You need something a little bit more than 1 second. 1 second delay. Remember, each tick on a repeater is a tenth of a second, so you need at least 10. I go with 3 repeaters set to 4 for 12. That gives you a pretty good idea for the right timing of them. So then we do this. Have our AND gates, just like that. Oops. There's a lot of styles of AND gates, but I think this one's the classic and the most easily recognized one, so that's the one I'm going to use here. If you want to use another one, more power to you. I just prefer this one for its simplicity and its universality. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to reverse my T flip-flop's direction. So I'm going to have the monostable circuit pointing towards the building. Just, whoa, what happened here? I don't know if it's just me or if you guys can see this in the video, but my character is all of a sudden running faster, I think. Maybe it's just all in my brain, but I think he's running faster, so I'm going to quit and rejoin, see what I can do, because that didn't sound right. I don't know if it's something wrong with my recording settings or what, but yeah, that was weird. Alright, looks like it's back to normal now, so let's just reverse this real quick. And hopefully you don't run into any issues with the wires crossing over, which I don't expect, really. I mean, it's not that difficult of a circuit to begin with, so it really shouldn't have any crossover issues. So here we have our T flip-flop, which goes into a monostable circuit, right? Ooh, how's that powering? Oh, right, it's a T flip-flop. So let's just destroy that for now, so we make sure we don't have any issues with things powering stuff they shouldn't be. And 1, 2, 3. Right, power that into there. Can't remember, is that a valid monostable circuit? It's been a long time since I've tried messing around with that stuff. So let's just see what happens when we monostabilize it. That's going to power that, which should in turn power the repeater. Repeater's going to power this block, but this block down here is not going to get any power. So no, I don't think that's going to work. Alright, no problem. like I said, I like to think things through. I guess that's sort of a side effect of me being a programmer. Is that when you're a programmer, you always like to think things through before you do them, which is a good thing and a bad thing in terms of Minecraft because if you're always thinking things through, you're almost never going to get something done. A good point in case is my first in first out queue. I originally actually did that by building the code to do that in actual C. I read up all the code I need using only bitwise expressions and stuff, and it let me visualize how I needed the circuit to be. But the problem with that was is that I was using that I what ended up happening is I was overthinking my design. I was thinking I had to have a whole bunch of ands and ors in there that it really didn't have to have. It actually turned out to be very simple. It turned out to be a rising edge detector and very little else than that. So. I, like I said, it's a good thing and a bad thing that I overthink things at time. But most of the time, it's just going to get in the way in Minecraft. So if there's one tip I have, don't overthink. Really, it's going to end up killing you in the long run because you're going to think that you're going to build something really awesome. But the problem is, you're going to end up getting there and you're going to think, wait a minute, this and this and this could be better. Let's make them better before we actually do anything with it. And you're just going to end up running out of time. So that's my tip of the day. I guess it's not so much of a pro tip considering I'm not a pro at this. I have less than 100 subscribers, but that's another point. Another thing I want to talk about in this, because I got time while I'm building this circuit, is I want to talk about YouTube as a whole. The reason I started YouTube is not for money. I'm not one of those people who's going around looking for subscribers. Anyone who's looked at my channel history knows I've never gone around begging for subscribers. The only person I asked to look at my videos originally was a good friend of mine. His name was Omega Liar. We kind of built up a relationship over about a course of a month or two, and I asked him to do a review of my first initial commentary. I did not ask him for any shoutouts or anything, and that's because I feel like I don't need the money from this. I'm in no situation where I need the money. I have a job that pays pretty well already. Not to brag or anything, but I do have a job, so I don't need money from this YouTube thing, and I don't feel like I need the subscribers. I mean, the real reason why I started this was it was a school project for me. My dad, who I'm homeschooled if you guys didn't know, but my dad, he basically said that unless I do something with video games, I'm not allowed to play them as much anymore. So that's why I got into the original commentary scene. There we go. That's working now. So that's why I originally got into the commentary scene, is because my dad said I needed to do something with my video games, or else I couldn't play them anymore. So I decided to buy an HTTP VR. Right, I bought it all with my own money. I did not ask for or get it as a Christmas present. I just went out and bought it because I felt like it would be a good investment in the future. And what I've used it for is I basically turned it into a school course type thing. I'm still doing school. I'm still in school. I do school through the summer. It's kind of the way our family works. We're weird, but yeah, we know that. Um, so basically, what we've done is we've turned this into sort of a school project, if you will. So it used to be that I had to do a commentary every day, but after I've built up my vocabulary to the point where I don't really need to do one every day. I just do them occasionally because I haven't had a chance to play on the Xbox much. So that's why Call of Duty's dropped off on my channel. Basically, my Xbox has a couple of problems with it hardware-wise, and sound wasn't working, so I just decided to stop with that for a while. I may get back into that, but only time will tell. Let's add an extra redstone dot there so we can get the extra output from here, right? So that's what's been going on recently for me. This actually doesn't need to go this way. That needs to go that way for another reason. This actually needs to link up to the monostable circuit on top, right? So that's a problem. So we need to make sure that this links back into our original original circuit here, right? To close up that if necessary. Or do we just link it up to here and only close this one? I think we want that to close both, right? Yes, we need that to close both, so we have to send it up to here. And this is what I'm talking about overthinking. I do this all the time. I just talk. It is a good thing, especially if you're doing computer programming or anything like that. But if you're trying to do something effective with like Minecraft or Redstone or something, it can get really in the way because you'll start talking about a whole bunch of stuff and you'll end up just confusing yourself along the way. So talking things out is always good to a point. You have to make sure you don't overdo it. I'm just going to ignore the fact that there's redstone down there. We don't really need that, I guess, but we'll just leave it there for whatever reason. And we'll come down here, link all this up. So yeah, that's kind of the reason I got into YouTube, is because my dad pushed me to do it, and it's one of those things where I'm grateful for it. I've grown to love the whole thing. At first, it was awkward for me, So we do that. Whoa, something happened. Let's see what happens now. Right, because I don't know what's happening here. Okay. That's really weird behavior. I guess I'll have to rethink this pressure plate. Maybe I'll look at the other design, because I'm actually really just doing this fresh from the start. If you couldn't tell, I'm doing this complete remake of the other one. So this is not, I don't have a schematic or anything next to me. I'm just literally doing this just from memory. So that has its problems in and of itself. Your memory is not perfect by any means. That didn't work. Okay. Okay, so it worked there. Why isn't it working when we use the pressure plate? What the heck is going on here? Is this interfering? Oh, this is interfering with the piston. Okay, now I remember why we have to wire this underground. Sorry about that. That was really confusing to me, but those are those silly little quasi-connectivity bugs with pistons that can really throw a loop in your designs because you don't expect them to ever be an issue, but when they do become an issue, they can really mess a lot of stuff up. So we stand on this. Okay. Oh, the signal's dying out now because it has to go through extra lengths. We'll bump this back 3 or 4 blocks. There we go. Now we should be good to go all the way back to the beginning. Huh. Why isn't this opening up? It sounds like something's happening. It sounds like this is actually doing something, right? But why won't... Did the T flip-flop mess up? Alright, I'm just going to create a redstone signal from here just to test it. See what's going on right now. Oh, the signal's decaying over here. So I guess I need to add a repeater there. Okay, so the signal was decaying there as well. Just little things that always get you when you're messing around with redstone is signal decaying. I guess that's another advantage using a mod like Red Power is that you don't have to deal with little things like that can throw loops in your circuit designs. But I guess that's just a disadvantage of, and it's still quasi. Oh, I put the actual pressure plate in the wrong spot. Okay, sorry, that was a really long bug fix there. But like I said, you can't have that there. Like I said before, you can't have that there for that specific reason. Grab some dirt or something to fill this in with. Right, so then you have this here. That goes up top, doing what it needs to do. There we go. There's our circuit. Alright, so now we have to add the extra AND gate over here to determine the output of the D flip-flop and to reset this one if the button's pushed from the inside. So we take this, right, and we'll take this out a separate way. I'd really love to do it so that this doesn't interfere with that, so that well, I guess it doesn't really matter as long as it goes through a monostable circuit at some point. So let's just do a monostable circuit right here real quick, because monostable circuits never are a bad idea. Whenever you need them, you're always going to need a monostable circuit. Let's be honest. Monostable circuits are one of those things that you'll always need, and they're a good thing to know how to build. They're probably one of the most important redstone structures that there are, because monostable circuits can be used for many different things. And up on the top of the list is the T flip-flop. I mean, without a monostable circuit, a T flip-flop is pretty much useless. So the reason we're putting it through a monostable circuit here is, just to be clear, is because we don't want this triggering both the turning off of that and the turning back on when it goes up through over here to the AND gate. Just to be clear on that one. So we build up that way, and we need to put it through second AND gate where we're ANDing the output of that T flip-flop over there. So then this circuit's going to come up here, right? And in theory now, we can just, right, so then when this needs to be closed, it needs to feed into that, no, which monostable, that monostable circuit. So we're going to have the AND gate facing, that was a fail. We're going to have the AND gate facing off this way, right? So that's the one output of the AND gate, or input of the AND gate, that's the other. And then we have break, output 1. Okay, put another torch there. Oop, that's a little bit of a fail as well. Alright, so there's our output, not that. That's the other major design of the AND gate that I use quite frequently, simply because it's another easy to understand one, and it works better in a vertical situation, because it especially if you need to send a signal down, it's almost invaluable, because you always will need to send a signal down. There's very few situations where you don't need to send a signal down, and if that's another thing I'm making a video on soon, is downwards end capacity, downwards signal. I don't know what else to say it other than it's a downwards signal sender that has end capacity, so you can basically extend it infinitely. It's a very unique design. It's using sand and a couple of glitches therein, but it should be interesting. Expect that in maybe a couple days, maybe a week or so. Another thing I have on the future, just talking about my channel again, is I have a video coming up of an updated version of the Lupine read-only memory, which actually, read-write memory, which includes the ability to, wait for it, yes, it has the ability to persist. It's not actually using wolves anymore at this point, so it's not technically Lupine, but we'll ignore that and we'll just call it Lupine memory for the hell of it, right? Alright, so then we put that there, link this all the way around, destroy that, send this just directly up this way. There we go. Jump. There we go. Alright, so that's that. That should be our AND gate here when we link it up as a test. Let's set it all on. No, that doesn't work because of the way Redstone has worked since, I believe, alpha 1 dot something or another. But I think if I was to get a lever, I could test this, right? Lever's gonna turn that off, yeah. So we get a lever. No, we don't want that going in. Alright, the signal's probably gonna decay along the way, and yes, it does. Surprise, surprise. So we'll just throw a repeater in right there. We should turn that off if it's supposed to. And we're almost done here. Bear with me for just a little bit longer. If you have stayed along here, congratulations. I know I'm not the best commentator in the world. In fact, I think I myself, in a lot of times, quite boring. But if you have stayed along here, thank you very much. It means a lot to me that someone actually takes the time to watch my videos, because there's a lot of people out there. There's no denying the fact that there's a lot of people out here doing exactly what I'm doing, and it's hard to create an audience. And like I said before, creating an audience is not really my number one concern at this point. I mean, yes, I love my subscribers. They're awesome, and the support they give and throughout my Minecraft stuff, it's just been amazing. But I'm just gonna say right now that they're not the number one reason I'm on YouTube. Like I said, it's more of a schooling thing. So if you do stick around for this, it means a lot to me. It really encourages me to continue doing what I do here. And let's test this out. Let's send the signal through my monostable circuit. Just like that didn't work. We want to send a signal by removing that. Make sure that comes up here. So that should trigger on half the AND gate. Awesome, we didn't need a repeater there. So I think we're just about done here. So we add back in this piece of redstone. And I think our circuit should look like it does. This is a little bit different design. It's the same thing. I mean, all the circuitry is the same. It's just extended in a different way. Like I said, this isn't built off of anything. Oops. I guess this is messing up again, too. Push the button once. Uh-oh. Maybe we're not done here. Oh, that's right. We need to invert the output of that AND gate there. Okay. So we need to invert the output of this T flip-flop up here when we're ANDing it back up. So we need to invert this somewhere along the way. We'll just do it here. And now we should be good. So right now the door should be open, right? The pistons are retracted. It should be open. That should be on. So that means if we were to push the button now, it would close both doors like it should. So if we come on. There we go. Open, open, push the button. Both doors close. Push the button. Only that door opens. Push the button again. That door stays closed. Push it once. Twice. This door opens. That door is open. Push the button here. Well, in theory, you should push the button here and it does something, but I think my signal might be decaying again or something. Why would my signal be decaying? No, there's no way it's a signal decay issue. Alright, let's figure out what's going on here then. No, we need to power through this line, so we'll just do it up here. We know it's reaching the repeater, so that's not an issue. Alright, our output. So that's, I guess, oh, that's right, it's going through. Torches in monostable circuits, if you didn't know, are weird. When you put a torch through a monostable circuit, when you put a monostable circuit, when you put a one-tick signal through a torch, it doesn't always go through. I don't know if there's a north-south rule with that or whatever, but it just sometimes doesn't work. And because of that, crap, that's an issue too. Alright, I guess this was wired wrong, so I guess you're staying around for a little bit longer, guys. Sorry about that. I forgot to wire up this correctly. This does not wire into here. Instead, it has to wire down into this monostable circuit here. Alright. So that was my error there. I guess the pressure plate on the inside doesn't close both doors like I thought it should, but whatever. Because the pressure plate on the inside has to be able to open the door too. Alright, so what we simply do is we put a repeater here. Right. Actually, I guess we could keep this. Yeah, you know what? Let's add this monostable circuit back here and do it again. So sorry about this. This has really been a little bit of a fail of a build. I expected this to go a lot faster than it did. I think it's been close to 20 or 30 minutes at this point. But I will upload this all in one part. You're not going to have to sit through and watch 2 or 3 parts of this. This is my first tutorial video. If you really couldn't tell, there really isn't any other way to do it. Most of the time I just do explanations because to me those are a lot simpler and easier to understand. But, you know, if you ask for a tutorial, I'll probably give you a tutorial. No, that's not right. We have to move this back again. Oy vey. Alright, that works. And torch. Put a repeater. You know, it's been a long time when it's turned to night like 3 times during a video, so I think we can probably end this with the sunset if I did it right and we don't have any crazy interference. Alright, so let's come down inside, see what we have as far as state. Both are open, push the button. Both close, push the button again. That opens, push the button again. That closes, push the button twice. And of course nothing happens. But did I maybe not doing it right? There it is. Alright, pushed it twice, it opened. That closes. And they should be both closed right now because I'm inside. Yes, they're both closed. Alright, so I think that's it. I think I'm going to call it wrap here. Hope you guys did enjoy. I mean, this was probably a real fail of a video, but, you know, I had a fun time recording it, so whatever happens, happens. Have a lovely day. And as always, catch you guys in my next video.